The focus around Chicago this week has shifted straight to how the defense is going to look under the lights on Sunday night, because there is real intrigue in how the pieces are finally coming back together, with key defensive backs returning to the rotation. The conversation is no longer about survival, but about flexibility. The Bears suddenly have options again, and that changes the entire feel of the game plan heading into a matchup that demands discipline and creativity. One of the most interesting elements is how the coaching staff plans to deploy the versatile defenders who bring very different strengths to the field. Both are expected to have defined roles, but those roles do not have to be static. The idea of mixing and matching coverages, disguising pressure, and moving players pre-snap becomes much more realistic when you have defenders who can line up in multiple spots. That versatility is critical against a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, who thrives on identifying looks early and punishing hesitation. There is a strong belief that one of these defenders is at his best when playing downhill, attacking the line of scrimmage and trusting his instincts rather than being isolated in space. When he can read the play, crash gaps, and get involved in the run game, his impact is noticeable. Asking him to consistently mirror quick receivers laterally is not playing to his strengths, and the Bears seem well aware of that. Expect him to spend plenty of time closer to the box, where his physicality and awareness can disrupt timing and create discomfort. That opens the door for Kyler Gordon to take on more responsibility in coverage situations, possibly even sliding outside for certain packages. Gordon has shown the ability to handle tougher assignments, and his comfort in space allows the defense to be more aggressive elsewhere. There is also the possibility of seeing both players on the field together in pressure looks, where they can blitz off the edge and force Stafford to speed up his internal clock. Even a handful of those snaps can change momentum and force the Rams to adjust protection schemes. Beyond that duo, the outside corner situation has quietly become one of the more encouraging storylines for Chicago. Tyreek Stevenson worked his way back into the mix last week, and while there are always details to clean up, the overall performance was solid. What stands out is the competition that is forming. Jalen Johnson and Terrell Smith both responded well when the game tightened, showing improved positioning and confidence in the second half. Johnson in particular had a moment that felt like a flash of his best football, reading the route, closing quickly, and breaking up a pass on a slant that required anticipation and trust in technique. Those kinds of plays matter, because the challenge this week is as real as it gets on the perimeter. Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua are not just productive, they are complete receivers. They win with strength, precision, and an understanding of leverage that puts defensive backs in constant conflict. There is no hiding against players like that. The Bears need multiple corners who can hold up, because there will be snaps where everyone is tested. Having three capable outside options allows the staff to rotate, adjust to hot hands, and keep players fresh deep into the fourth quarter. On the offensive side of the ball, confidence continues to build around Caleb Williams. Especially in high-pressure situations, there is a growing sense that late-game moments do not overwhelm him. And that belief is backed up by results. This team has lived in tight games all season, and more often than not, they have found ways to close. 7 comeback wins inside the final 2 minutes do not happen by accident. That is a reflection of preparation, trust, and a quarterback who believes the game is never out of reach. Williams' calm in those moments seems to spread throughout the huddle. When he has the ball late, there is an expectation that something positive can happen, even if the odds are not perfect. It does not mean every drive ends in points, but it does mean the offense operates with purpose instead of panic. That mentality traces back to the foundation built long before the season started, through demanding practices and an emphasis on toughness that goes beyond physicality. Those habits show up when adversity hits. Missed assignments, penalties, or sudden momentum swings do not derail this group the way they might have in previous seasons. The Bears have been tested repeatedly, and those experiences create calluses. When games come down to execution and resolve, the team has demonstrated it can respond. Details still matter most, but toughness often decides who executes those details under pressure. Special teams also deserve attention heading into this matchup, particularly with weather expected to be a factor at Soldier Field. Cold, wind, and footing can turn routine plays into high-stress moments. But there is a steady confidence in the kicking operation. Cairo Santos may not be known for attempting extreme distance kicks, but within his range, he has been remarkably dependable. His track record in difficult conditions speaks for itself. And that reliability allows the coaching staff to make decisions without second-guessing the outcome. That dependability was on full display recently, when Santos converted multiple field goals in a game where every point mattered. Situations changed quickly, field position shifted, and yet the operation stayed clean. Those moments swing games, especially against opponents who struggle in the kicking game. Field position, returns, and coverage units have quietly become strengths for Chicago, and that consistency over the past few months has removed a layer of anxiety that often surrounds special teams. When you combine a defense regaining flexibility, an offense that believes in itself late, and special teams playing with confidence, you start to see why this matchup feels so compelling. The Rams bring plenty of talent and experience, but Soldier Field in winter has a way of amplifying small edges. Wind alters throws, cold stiffens hands, and every decision is magnified. Chicago understands that environment, and they have built a style that can survive in it. All of these elements feed into what should be a tightly contested game, one where adjustments matter as much as initial plans. The Bears are not relying on one storyline or one star to carry them. Instead, they are leaning into depth, versatility, and the belief that when the moment arrives, they are prepared to answer it. As the conversation shifts toward health and availability, the overall picture remains encouraging for Chicago as the week moves closer to kickoff. The injury report has steadily trended in the right direction, and that alone brings a sense of stability to a roster that has already endured its share of physical challenges this season. Having players return not only boosts talent levels, but also restores flexibility in how different packages can be deployed on both sides of the ball. One of the most notable developments is the return of Braxton Jones, who has battled his way back after being sidelined since early in the season. Offensive line continuity matters, especially in games where conditions are far from ideal. Cold weather tends to punish mistakes in protection, and having a trusted presence back on the edge gives the offense a stronger foundation. It also allows the coaching staff to avoid reshuffling multiple positions, something that can disrupt timing and communication. Several players who missed time recently due to concussions were full participants again, which is a significant relief. Depth in the secondary and linebacker group becomes critical against an opponent that thrives on balance and rhythm. The ability to rotate without a noticeable drop-off is something Chicago has lacked at times, but that concern appears to be easing as bodies return to the lineup. Jalen Reeves-Maybin also progressing to full participation adds another layer of flexibility, particularly in sub-packages, where speed and awareness are essential. There are still a few names being managed carefully, most notably DJ Moore and Romo Duns. Both were limited during the week, but there is little indication that either is in danger of missing the game. At this point in the season, managing workload is often more about preservation than alarm. Duns has been dealing with a lingering foot issue, while Moore has absorbed the usual wear that comes with being a focal point of the offense. Their importance cannot be overstated, and keeping them fresh for Sunday night is the priority. The one absence that appears more definitive is in the defensive backfield, where a groin injury has kept one player from practicing altogether. Without progress during the week, expectations are that he will be unavailable. While that is never ideal, the timing is softened by the fact that other defensive backs are returning, allowing the rotation to remain functional without forcing anyone into an unfamiliar role. Looking across to the other sideline, the Rams have a situation worth monitoring closely along their offensive line. Kevin Dotson, arguably their most impactful interior lineman, has been limited as he works through his own injury. His presence or absence could significantly affect how Los Angeles approaches both pass protection and the run game. Dotson is not just powerful, but mobile, which allows the Rams to be creative with pulls and combinations. When he is healthy, the offense operates with far more consistency. There is a sense that Dotson will push the play, even if he is not at full strength. Players of his caliber often do, especially in games that carry weight. If he is active, the Bears' defensive front will need to test him early and often, forcing him to move laterally and anchor against pressure. Any limitation can be exposed in cold weather, where footing and balance become more difficult to maintain. Beyond that, the Rams' injury report is relatively stable. Several players who were limited earlier in the week have progressed to full participation, including key contributors on both sides of the ball. Matthew Stafford continues to manage a finger issue but has not been limited, suggesting it will not alter the game plan. That means Chicago should expect the full scope of the Rams' passing attack, with timing routes and play action designed to stress the defense horizontally and vertically. One subplot that may go unnoticed is the Rams' backup quarterback situation. With Jimmy Garoppolo dealing with a back issue and missing practice, the depth behind Stafford becomes a question. While it may not factor directly into the opening script, football has a way of forcing contingency plans into relevance in cold conditions. With increased physicality, unexpected moments happen, and having an inexperienced backup would change the dynamic instantly. All of this context feeds into the chess match that will unfold once the ball is kicked. The Bears know that health alone does not win games, but availability gives them the chance to play their style. That style relies on patience, physical defense, and an offense that is comfortable grinding through adversity. It is not always flashy, but it has proven effective in tight situations. Weather is expected to be a factor again, and that often narrows the margin for error. Clean execution, ball security, and situational awareness become even more important. Field position swings carry more weight, and drives that end in points instead of punts can tilt momentum dramatically. Chicago has shown growth in those areas, particularly in how they handle the final minutes of each half as Sunday night approaches. The sense around the team is not one of anxiety, but of readiness. They understand the challenge ahead and the caliber of opponent they are facing. At the same time, there is confidence rooted in experience, in knowing they have been through close games, hostile moments, and physical battles already this season and have come out stronger because of it. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Ben Johnson, the no-nonsense head coach of the Bears, has reportedly made a bold and controversial move that has sent shockwaves through the team and fans alike. Sources close to the organization suggest that a key starter has been sidelined due to what is being described as a serious breach of discipline. While neither the player's identity nor the specifics of the incident have been officially confirmed, insiders hint that this decision is emblematic of Johnson's iron-fisted approach to team management. Whispers around the locker room suggest tensions have been simmering for weeks. Johnson, known for his unwavering commitment to accountability and performance, apparently reached a breaking point with a player who repeatedly challenged team rules. The Bears, a franchise that has been striving for consistency and professionalism under Johnson's leadership, appear to be sending a message that no one is above the team's standards, even its top performers. Fans have taken to social media, speculating wildly about the implications of this move. Some argue that sidelining a starter could disrupt team chemistry, especially at a critical juncture in the season. Others, however, see it as a necessary step to instill discipline and set a precedent for younger players. Analysts note that Johnson has never shied away from making unpopular decisions if he believes they benefit the team in the long run, and this latest development seems to follow that pattern. The incident has sparked heated debate among commentators. Some suggest that internal conflicts or clashing personalities may have fueled the disciplinary action, while others insist it was purely a matter of professional standards. Regardless, the move reinforces Johnson's reputation as a coach who prioritizes order, accountability, and results above all else. Although the Bears have not provided an official statement, sources hint that the sidelined player could return if he demonstrates a genuine commitment to change and team values. Until then, speculation will continue to dominate headlines, with fans, pundits, and rival teams all watching closely to see how this drama unfolds. One thing is clear: under Ben Johnson, discipline is not negotiable, and the Bears' locker room may never be the same again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.